Hi, everybody. Welcome to this week's episode of the Jimmy Dore Show. I'm joined by the young Turk himself, Mr. Ben Mankiewicz. Hi, Ben. How are you?
What's going on, Jimmy?
Oh, great to have you. Let's get right to it. I was watching Press the Meet with David Gregory this past Sunday, and he had on Tom Brokaw, and David Gregory had a big question for Tom Brokaw.
The issue of the debt, the issue of taxes, I think it's important to get to one of the big issues here. We have got to, in these final few weeks, try to reach some resolution about this revenue issue. Whether we raise revenue to deal with the debt, because whether it's Medicare or whether it's dealing with the debt level at the level that it's at, without agreement on both sides, we're not going to be able to tackle some of these more difficult issues.
Wow, that's some great political insight from David Gregory. Without agreement, we're not going to be able to tackle some of our tougher issues in America. I got to tell you, and who else better to answer that question than Tom Brokaw, because he knows more about America than anybody, because he's been flying over it in his private jet for 30 years. Right, Ben? Am I right?
Yeah, I like it, but David Gregory has a way to ask the most obvious question in the history of the world, but make it seem sober and thoughtful.
Yes.
That's apparently what you need to do to succeed in television. That's apparently my problem.
Well, I just, Tom Brokaw really knows how hard it is for the millions of Americans who don't host their own network news show. He really does. He has a feeling. So here's what Tom has to say about it. First of all, like any good newsman, he starts us off with a false equivalency.
You know, I think that both campaigns have failed to say to the American public.
Yeah, both sides do it. Both sides do it. Both sides do it. I just want to say, first of all, first thing I'm going to say on Sunday is both sides do it. Both sides do it. Okay.
He loves talking about the greatest generation, the generation that fought World War II. I guess in Tom Brokaw's world now, well, look, both sides in World War II. There was a lot of shooting. Both sides killed people.
Both sides. It was hard for people to understand who was telling the truth on which
I got
side.
bullets all over the place. I don't know who shot them. And in the end, does it really matter?
So Tom Brokaw then actually gives his here's his full answer. Ready?
You know, I think that both campaigns have failed to say to the American public, this is going to be hard.
And by hard, he doesn't mean hard for him and his millionaire friends. He means hard for you, people who have to work and plan on retiring someday. That's what he means hard for.
Yeah, that's right. It's once again, they're really breaking it down. First Gregory's tough question, and then Brokaw by pointing out that they need to make a case that it's going to be hard.
Yes, because nothing wins elections more than telling people how shitty you're going to make it for them, right? That's the failing of the two political parties. They're not going to...
Not many people know that was Adlai Stevenson's campaign slogan.
Oh, was it?
Right, against Ike. Both times. It was, I like Ike, and these next 4 years are going to be awfully shitty.
Going to be
right, and as a result, he lost twice.
He did not win.
Yeah.
I thought for sure. So we'll just remember, when Tom Brokaw says it's going to be hard, he doesn't mean hard for people like him. He means hard for people, who count on Social Security and Medicare, right? That's what he means.
Right, you said it. People who want to, do crazy things like retire.
Yes, and not people who count on stuff like, stock options and in a rigged economy, right? Those people don't. He's not talking about hard for them. Okay, so let's the next question.
They've got to level with the American people about everyone's going to have to give something, and there's going to have to be some revenue raised at some point.
Yeah, and by that he means, hard sacrifices. He means sacrifice, to give. He means like he's willing to pay a couple extra nickels for a kerchief and an ascot, whereas you're not going to be able to have Medicare when you get older. That's what he's talking about, right?
Yeah, I like that you pointed out the handkerchief. I don't. Well, of course, this would include my brother, sadly. But when you hear shared sacrifice from guys wearing handkerchiefs, it doesn't land. It doesn't resonate. Yeah.
When Tom says everybody has to give up something, he means that like he's willing to give up not paying as big a tax rate as his secretary, and then you have to give up your security of being able to retire. It's the same thing over and over. He wants you to sacrifice. They're not really. Everybody's got to give something, and he means everyone who doesn't have the political leverage to avoid giving something. That's what he's talking about, right?
That's right. That's right. Yeah. Okay. Very cleverly put.
Let's see. He's got some more to say.
I talked to a lot of major business leaders who want Romney to get elected.
Well, first of all, I'm so glad that Tom continues to poll the 1% and find out, get their ideas on how to fix the economy that they smashed to smithereens through unbridled greed and an eye toward quarterly profits, right?
Tom Brokaw has his finger on the pulse of the pocket square crowd.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. He keeps. I'm going to ask the 1% what they think. Really, the people who ruin the economy. I keep going back to, hey, yes, Tom, why don't you tell me, what are the Skipper and Gilligan's plans to fix the boat and get us off this island? Okay. He's got more.
But almost to a man and a woman, they say, but you know what, we're going to have to pay some more taxes in our category. What they want to do, however, is to benchmark them against spending cuts.
Yes, when he says about that benchmark against taxes versus spending cuts, what he means is that people like Tom Brokaw are willing to kick in a little bit more for those wars that they wanted if we keep firing teachers, cops, and firemen. That's what he means, right?
You can't write the sequel to The Greatest Generation without another war.
Yes, you're right. Okay.
Also, I like that he admits that the captains of industry, the captains and queens of industry, is always very careful to say men and women.
Men and women.
Women I
To a
talk
man
to.
and a-
Pretty much every proposal that Obama has even vaguely got behind, his own plan, Simpson Bowles, every one of those plans has more revenue cuts than tax cuts.
Yes.
So I think this is good news for Democrats, because clearly once Tom tells them that, clearly they'll be like, oh, well, I'll be supporting Obama, I guess.
Oh, yeah, sure. That's exactly what's going to happen.
Clearly.
Hey, but you got to remember, Ben, both sides do it. Both sides do it. Both sides do it. I think we have one more clip from our friend Tom Brokaw.
There's going to have to be a combination in their judgment. And these are private business leaders who run big companies and entrepreneurial people. And to a man and a woman, they're saying, I can afford to pay a little more if I think it's going to go for the right formulation about getting spending and tax revenue back in line.
Yeah, so what he's talking about by when he says get the taxes, they're willing to pay a little bit more in taxes if we just don't throw it away on making everybody's life better. Right? That's what he means.
Right, they just don't want to waste it.
Yeah, you don't want to.
It's essentially, it says, look, in return for raising the Social Security age, we will replace the chandelier in our yachts every other year.
Yes.
Right.
That's
shared sacrifice.
This is what we're talking about, shared sacrifice.